Should I end the homeschool year early? That's a question that I see a lot. So if you're standing in your kitchen thinking, maybe we should just close the books and call it a summer and just be done with it. This is that weird end of year stretch. Everything feels heavy. Technically, you're almost done. Emotionally, you might feel like, wow, this is a mess. We're just in the middle of this mess. And you might be wondering, is it even worth finishing? Should I just start fresh in the fall? If you've had that thought, great. No worries. That is 100% common. Especially, if this is your first year homeschooling, maybe you're like, wow, I don't think I can do this. You can. We're going to talk about it. Here's something people don't say out loud, but it does happen. I know that over the years, especially in those early years of homeschooling, I was definitely guilty of this. When homeschooling got hard, then I started looking for an escape hatch, new ways to do things. Let's just drop this thing because it doesn't feel like it's working. But then I discovered that's not always the best thing. So when I convince myself, like, oh, it must be the curriculum, or it must be the routine, or it must be us, what if that discomfort that you feel is exactly where the work is supposed to happen? What if? What if we just sat in the discomfort of the mess, even at the end of the school year? Or if you school all year round or have a different schedule, or if you're following the 12-week school year where you go for 12 weeks, have a month of personal projects, another 12 weeks, and you school year round, you're still going to end up, no matter the time frame, with this messy middle bit or messy at the end bit. The timing will vary, but the feeling won't, where you just think, I just want to pack it in. Can I just pack it in? Be done? I'm tired of this. But what if that discomfort is exactly where you're supposed to be? If you're tired, your plan is unraveling, you're starting to look for something new, you're looking ahead to the fall and thinking, oh, I can start fresh then. Here's the truth: every time that you jump ship and you start to look for something new when things get hard, you start that same cycle again. And it's going to be new and fresh and exciting for a while, and then it's going to be hard. And if you don't push through and you start back at the new and fresh and exciting, you're never going to get through that. Your kid is never going to learn what it means to finish something hard. And that's an important thing to learn. I'm not saying just grind it out no matter what, to be clear. Because there are some times where you should abandon something. It makes sense to abandon it because it's not good for you, it's not good for your child, it's going to wreck the relationship. But I am saying just because something is hard doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong or that it's the wrong thing. Sometimes the most important of learning is a part of learning is just that it stretches us. That's what learning is. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. We don't know it. We're unfamiliar with it, so it's uncomfortable. And then we're moving to knowing it, where we're getting more comfortable. But then we're going to learn a new thing, so now we're going to be in a position of discomfort again. And it is that cycle. That's what learning is. So here's a question I want you to ask before you make a decision about what you're going to cut or what you're going to change. Is this just hard, or is it actually impossible right now? Because hard means your tween is growing. Growth is good. Impossible means you're asking too much too soon. So you have an idea of where you want to be and you think, okay, we should be able to do this, but you don't have the foundational skills yet. It's impossible to do. So the trick is knowing the difference so you don't quit when all you need and all your tween needs is support. If it's hard, they need support to get through it. If it's impossible, we need to take a step back, regroup, so that we can make the hard things possible. But that one shift, knowing the difference between hard and impossible, can keep you from blowing up the whole plan just because it got uncomfortable. Let's be honest. Sometimes when I was homeschooling, especially during those tween years, it wasn't just my kid that wanted to quit. It was me. I was tired of watching them struggle. It was so hard to watch them struggle through things, to get through, to push through the other side. So this week, as you're thinking about this hard versus impossible, maybe it's not just about your tween's growth. Maybe it's about your personal growth. Homeschooling has a way of refining us as moms. And this is part of it, watching your kids struggle through the hard thing. Not jumping ship because it's hard, staying with it. That's where we're going to see the most growth. Not where everything is going smooth. We need those times too, to be fair. Because if something is hard all the time, it's very discouraging, which is why in one of the earlier sessions, when we're talking about what subjects to be working on at any given time, we have a balance. Some of those hard things, some of those things they like, some of the things that are easier for them, so that we don't discourage our tweens, so they don't get discouraged and want to give up and quit, so that they can push through and do the hard things, because there's also things that are easier for them to do. So we see growth when things are hard, not just when things are going smoothly. But when we're sitting with this tension of, okay, this is hard and we're going to do it anyway, it is uncomfortable. And that's okay. I used to think that something was wrong with me because a certain skill it seemed to be challenging. It felt so hard. But I was doing this in isolation and I was like, man, I just suck at this. Maybe I'm never going to be good at this. This is really hard. And then I joined some communities and I found out, oh, everyone struggles with this skill. It's not that we're bad at it. It's just hard. Some things are just hard. And your tween needs that same freedom to just do hard things. Like, it's okay that it's hard because we're going to push through and get it done. Now, one of the greatest gifts of homeschooling, so you are homeschooling your kids, and that is fabulous. We get to help our kids learn to stay and do the things that are hard. And the safest place for them to learn that is in the home. They get to learn what perseverance actually feels like and see the benefits on the other side. So what they're learning this week, it's not really about decimals or grammar. It's about how to keep going when it's hard. So when you're looking at that math page and you want to give it up and you're just like, we are done, it's not actually about the math. It is about the math. They need to learn the math. Math is important. However, even more than that, it's about perseverance. Can they get through the difficult thing to the other side? That's what you're teaching them. Because once they do, the next time they'll get through that next hard thing. Curriculum writers like to have a nice, neat package of curriculum. You're going to go start to finish, and we're going to do this. And as a homeschool mom, I used to think, oh, we need to finish the curriculum. But maybe that's not the thing. We can pick and choose. We need to teach our kids how to finish hard things, which might mean we're not finishing the curriculum, but we're getting the outcome. We are finishing hard things even when they're boring or uncomfortable, or there's no gold stars. Nobody's looking at us saying, yay, you got this done. If we keep jumping ship every time things get hard, we're not teaching them how to learn. We're teaching them how to escape. So we don't want to do that. In the real world, we do hard things. We have to do hard things. There's hard things in every job. And so you're teaching your kids how to persevere through those. So if this week you're just thinking like, I just want to quit, let's start again in the fall, I urge you to just pause, breathe, make adjustments so you can get to the outcome, but don't quit just because something is hard. This week matters not because it's easy, but because this is how they learn how to do hard things. And let's face it, you're learning too. You are helping your kid through this hard thing, and that's hard. But it's something that they're going to remember. They're going to remember, Mom helped me through this. I can do hard things. Mom is there for me as I'm doing the hard thing. This is a safe place to do hard things. And that is invaluable. If you're not already part of the 12-week homeschool challenge, I invite you to join. You can click the link below in the comments below to sign up. And next week, we're going to talk about how to hand off more control to your tween, how to build that trust and build some systems so they can be way more autonomous in their work. Until next time, keep talking with your tween.